Hey guys, happy Tuesday. It is July 6th, and I just thought that I would sit down while I'm by myself and just, ramble. What I do best. Obviously, this is a baby update if you were curious, like if you didn't understand by now. It's like a baby life, it's an update video, okay? So, I think I kind of touched on this earlier, but they've been monitoring me to see if I'm going to have another growth restricted baby. And anyway, we were doing good. We were on track. Like everything was looking good. She was looking like she was going to be a normal size. And so that was 4 weeks ago. And then I went back today to have another growth scan, and it was just an odd experience. I got it! I've been trying to get this dang gnat for a week. Anyway, it was really like, I don't know how to describe the experience of the growth scan, but basically, she, like, obviously an ultrasound technician does a scan, like doctors can do it, and they don't really talk, like they make small talk, but they don't really like talk about what's going on. And she was doing her whole small talk thing, like, oh, what are you having? Oh, look, she's kicking. Oh, she's like a little pretzel in there. Oh, she's ticklish. Okay, like the small talk stuff. And then she got silent. And, everyone knows, like, when you get silent, all of a sudden, like, something is, like, happening. And she kept focusing on the umbilical cord. And they've never done that during the growth scan. So I was just like, well, I mean, it looks like it's pulsating, so, I don't know what umbilical cord is supposed to look like or do or anything like that. But she kept focusing on it, and she kept doing the pulse of it. And she did it about like 5 or 6 times. Like, she just kept doing it. And I was just like, okay, like, what's going on? I don't know anything. You're not telling me anything. Obviously, you can't because you're an ultrasound technician, but I was just, I don't know. I just, like, the third time that she kept, well, the second time she did it, I was like, something's not right. And I mean, I could still feel the baby moving and stuff, and like I'm watching the baby move, so I'm like, the baby's fine, right? But you're like focusing on the cord, and every time they do a measurement, like, it would show up at the bottom, and I noticed right away that one measurement was like 2 or 3 weeks off, and I was like, okay, all right, and she would like measure it again just to be sure, but it was like the same thing. So, in my head, it's just like, all right, she's off track. I mean, like, that's my assumption. I don't know. I think I'm just now processing this as I'm like talking to y'all. So hopefully I don't like cry or anything. But anyway, it's like one of those days. Okay. So she obviously, like, she couldn't tell me anything, and then she started watching her breathing patterns, and she wrote like breathing on the thing, and I was like, I've never seen that before. And like during all that, she was not talking to me. Like, the small talk was over, and then she's at the end, she's like, okay, I'm measuring your fluid, the doctor will be in. And I was like, okay. So I'm just like waiting for the doctor to come, and like he comes in, and I'm already at the high risk, like, facility, obviously. Well, maybe not obvious, but I was at the high risk facility. This is where I go to get the growth scans. And he like comes in, and he like turns the display back on to like show me all the measurements. and he grabs the chair and he like sits down far from me. Like normally they come in and okay, I looked at everything, everything looks fine. Okay, I'll see you next whenever. But this time he like comes in and he's like, oh hey, I'm doctor, whatever, I'm gonna talk to y'all for a minute. And I was like, well, here it comes, And he just said, normally we don't want it to fall below the 10th percentile. And, and if one of these categories, either the abdomen or the, overall, and, this one's at 8%. So obviously that's less than 10. And, we have to keep a better eye on this. So I have to go every week now. And, yeah, they just don't know when they're going to take her out. So, I mean, like, I knew that was a possibility based on my last pregnancy, but, like, it was never, like, this in-depth with him, because no one knew that he was little until, he came out. But, this time they were, like, being proactive, and, yeah, she's only gained a pound in a month, and they want to see half a pound a week. So she should have been like a little bigger, obviously, which is why she's not in the right percentile, stupid. What? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know, after that I was just kind of in like a meh mood. And I don't understand why, because like I knew it was a possibility. Like I knew it. Like whenever we were going through my history, she's like, oh, that sounds like your baby was growth restricted. Like, do you know if the baby was, I'm like, I don't know. And I just felt like, okay, like we know this is a possibility, but when I had this stuff last month and she was on track, she was in the 30th percentile a month ago, I was feeling like a little bit better, because I was like, okay, like she's probably gonna be normal sized, cool, like that's what I want. Like I want a normal sized baby. I mean, I want a healthy baby, but I mean, he was still healthy even though he was little, but whatever. But I guess like hearing someone tell you like, hey, the kid ain't big. I don't know, it just put me in a mood today, so. Anyway, I have nothing really prepared for her. And since we don't have like a definite time, like I know for sure what day she's not gonna go past, because we already like talked about, the date at my appointment this morning. So even though I know like the date she's not gonna go past, they're saying that was my regular OB. But she said, at the end of the day, the high risk doctor, has the final say when the baby's gonna come, like when they're gonna take the baby. So I start going to the weekly appointments. My first one is next Thursday, because I normally try to do all my appointments on Tuesdays, because that's the day I take for myself, and then the other days are for real estate. But yeah, next week is gonna be a cluster. And like I just don't know what to expect. They said they're gonna do like basically like they're not gonna measure her all the way, but they're gonna check the cord again and like watch it for a while, and then watch her breathe for a while, and then make sure her heart rate's not dipping too much. And I don't know, like Dr. Google says that the earliest is 37 weeks that she would come. So that puts me like the beginning of August. So I would have a month. But that's gonna fly by. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. I'm just processing. And it's hard, you know, because I feel bad that she's like uncomfortable in there. And like, you can't even see her face because she's like smushed up against my hip. And her feet are literally in my ribs. And like, she stretches out and it hurts so bad. I'm like, you can't do that. Like, there's not enough room for you to do that. And now, like, you know, they take your fundal height every time we go to the doctor, and mine, I'm not where it's supposed to be. And I've only gained 2 pounds this entire ordeal. Because I was so sick in the beginning, I was losing weight. And now I'm not that sick anymore. Like, I'm not sick at all, actually, knock on wood. She's probably about to make me sick now just because I said that. So, like, I'm gaining weight now. I guess it's kind of late for that. Yeah. And, like, these crazy apps, like the pregnancy apps, are like, oh, you have gained such and such pounds now. And I'm just like, actually, I'm not. And like, when people are like, oh, you're so cute, look at your little belly, like, oh, I wish I was little when I was pregnant. Like, no. Look at all this crap that I'm dealing with now. You know how much gas it takes to drive back and forth to the doctor every week? And then they were saying like appointments twice a week. No. I don't know, you guys. I'm gonna go do something on the computer so I can like relax before my meeting. I don't even know if I'm gonna upload this. It's more just like a me processing stuff video, but oh well. Signing off.